All right, yes, 'tis I. And we're still at it, Accordion Cool, Coach Dave. You see my name right over there somewhere. That's up there only in case I happen to forget what my name is, because at my age, but anyways. That first tune, Bill Bailey, Won't Y'all Please Come Home. Now that was written, believe it or not, in 1902, and it's a jazz standard, literally, made it through, Tin Pan Alley stuff and all, bebop, and it made it through everything, and believe it or not, every once in a while, you still, not necessarily on the radio, but if you go to a gig, or a jazz jam or something, good chance you might hear that tune. Now back then, when they wrote these songs, a lot of the songs had a verse. Of course, they all had words anyway, but a lot of them had a verse. Now, for instance, this is Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home. The verse tells the story of why she's going to let this scoundrel come home again if he wants to. And then, of course, the song is, Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey, blah, 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 all the way through. So, of course, the verse should really be sung or spoken, so that's why you didn't get it today, because Coach Dave doesn't know the verse. But anyway, we're going to move along to our second tune. I'm pretty sure I've done Bill Bailey before, but this tune I'm pretty sure I've done. It's called Moonlight in Vermont, written in 1944, and it's sort of like the unofficial, state song. I don't think it's ever been you know, declared the state song of Vermont, but, you know, different events and things like that, they'll play Moonlight in Vermont. Now, the fellows that wrote this song, 1944, the fellow was looking at the words and the lyrics, and he noticed nothing rhymes with what they had already written. So he said, well, what the heck, let's keep the song the same way. It's what, I can't even think of the words. Pennies in a stream, falling leaves, a sycamore, moonlight in Vermont. Nothing there rhymes. That's, you know, so that's very strange, and it's again become a jazz standard. Moonlight, not sunlight. Moonlight in Vermont. Moonlight in Vermont. Now, something else a little different about that song. Most songs, you can sit there and count if you want to make sure I'm right, have multiples, that's a big word, multiples of 8, like in 8 measures. 8 measures, 8 measures, 8 measures, you know, 8 measures. And the average song is 32 measures long. Well, guess what? Moonlight in Vermont, it's only 6 measures. 2. And then it started again, 6 measures. So I think the guys, when they wrote this song, they might have found, I don't know, I have no idea, but maybe, well, anyway. All right, moving along, like I know, who cares? 1940, pretty tune. I don't think I've ever played this on the show. I don't do the tune that's often. It's a little tricky, but I said, well, you know, I'm going to play it this week and probably screw it up. So, you know, sometimes they go hand in hand, playing it and screwing up. But 1940, remember Frank Sinatra? Something? I think he was like a singer or a vocalist or something. Well, he started out with the Tommy Dorsey Band, and in 1940, this was Frank Sinatra's first hit. Pretty tune, if I play it right, called Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Pretty tune. Yeah, I did, you know, a couple, well, you know, but all the notes were there. A couple of them just weren't in the right order, but they were all there, so I guess we got through it. Well, this next tune comes from a 1965 movie called Sandpiper, and it's also known as the love theme from the Sandpiper. The name of the tune is The Shadow of Your Smile. Now, this is another one of those real tricky tunes. You don't fake this tune. Either you know it or you don't. I probably don't, but anyway. But I remember years and years and years ago, back in another lifetime, I was doing a gig one night, and I knew some guys that were doing a gig down the street, and my gig got up, you know, the hours were earlier, so I, you know, packed up and went down just to hear my friends. So, fellow there, I think he played sax, and they had a new accordion player, and he was a young kid, played very well, but he just didn't have the experience, because back in those days, you get on the bandstand and people call tunes, you know, Blue Moon, or Start, whatever, and you played it because you had to know it. So I'm standing there beside the stage, you know, listening to these guys. And the sax player says, "Shadow of your smile." And I'm saying to myself, this kid is not going to make it. So, and again, great player, but he just, you know, didn't have the experience. And immediately, without even thinking, I yelled, "Oh no, not that one!" And I always remember that incident when I should have kept my mouth shut. But I honestly don't remember what happened, but it could have been a disaster. So I'll try to keep it from being a disaster. The shadow of your smile. The shadow of your smile. I don't really know the word. I think that might possibly have been, you can hear it's like a Latin beat. It might have been written by, you know, a Latin type person. So original words might even be in Latin, Spanish, whatever. I have no idea. I'm probably wrong, so don't write that down as gospel. All right. Well, the song was written in 1934. I'm pretty sure I haven't played it on the show before. At least I haven't played it in this key. And the tune, it tells the story of, you know, two people and they're partying and they say, you know, for all we know, we may never meet again. And that's the name of the tune, For All We Know. And it became very popular during World War II, which was shortly after it was written, 6 or 7 years, because so many of our brave young men and my relatives went off World War II to fight, and I think all my relatives came back, but many people did not, and so that's the song, For All We Know. they're leaving tomorrow or whenever it is, but for all we know, we may never meet again. It's a nice tune, pretty tune. I do it a little bit quicker than it probably should be, but, well, hey, my show, my rules, for all we know. For all we know, we may never meet again. Sad, sad song. But I guess it happens. All right, okay, we're getting down towards the end of our time, so we're going to pick it up a little bit and forget that we may never meet again. So, 1952, this song was written. It didn't do a lot. Some of the big names of the time did record it. Around 1959, a fellow named Wilbert Harrison. I know nothing about Wilbert Harrison. I think he was kind of like a minor country singer, I believe. Well, he recorded this song and it just took off, and fortunately for Wilbert, he made a bunch of money on it, and even though he wasn't that well known, hopefully this kind of set him up. About a city in the middle of our country called Kansas City. Kansas City. Been there. Nice little town. Nice little town. Here we go. Oh, Kansas City, here I come. Now, Kansas City, as probably most of you know, is this Kansas City, Kansas, this Kansas City, Missouri, same town. Little river goes right up through the middle. So depending on which side you live, depending on the state you live in. Now, when we were there, we heard about a place, a museum. It was called the Arabia, and it was about a ship that was found buried in a farmer's field. Yep. So we went to see the Arabia and the artifacts from that ship. And what had happened was it's the Missouri River that goes between the two sides of the city. And through the years, the river tends to change its course a little bit. So the Arabia, something like 1850, went down in the middle of the river in a storm. It was carrying all kinds of merchandise. And it was never recovered till, a few decades ago, and a couple of fellows started digging, and there it was, right in this farmer's field. That's how much the river had diverted, and the stuff was still good because it had been preserved because it was under the ground, and of course they had to work on it. They had to do some preservation because some of it would just fall apart. But they had the stuff there from 1850 that was on that ship. And while we were there, the two fellows that found it happened to come in, and so that was kind of neat. Listen to them talk. So, Kansas City, and we're about out of time. Thank y'all for watching, listening, all the good things you do to keep me here every week. So, let's go home with a little more Kansas City. That's it.